Guys, what's up? We got Branch here today. I'm actually excited to have Branch here on the podcast because Branch is the original OGs, man. Like when I got into bodybuilding, I was watching bodybuilding. It was, Ronnie, Branch, Jay, like that era of hardcore, fucking crazy bodybuilding that you just don't see anymore. It just that's it just ain't gonna happen. I mean, there's a couple guys out there like let's say I'm gonna ruin his name, man. Hollinger, and
Hollington,
yes, I destroy his name every time.
James Hollington.
Yes, so there's still a couple guys that like really go hard, but you know there's not that environments that like you were in Branch, within Metro around Ronnie, all that. So I'll just let you kick it off, man. Just tell me, how'd you get into bodybuilding and what even made you want to go into bodybuilding? You know what I mean?
Well, man, I've got a long history with those guys you just mentioned. With the Ronnie and Jay. So I'll tell you about it and how I got started. It's been a long journey. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been a roller coaster, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I grew up in West Texas, and I grew up on a cattle ranch. And anybody who ever grew up on a ranch or a farm, they knows the work ain't never done. You don't ever wake up and be like, "Wow, I have nothing to do today." It's always something to do, and it's always hard work, man. So building a fence, baling hay. We had horses. You had to take care of the horses, man. Because part of the ranch, you had to have horses for the ranch. We use them
Yeah.
for work, accessible by vehicles, some of it. So, it was just hard ass work. And so, but when you grow up like that, you don't know no different, right? That's just
Right.
the way everybody lives like that. You don't know anything any different. All my friends were the same way, and so that's just thought that's how everybody lived. And so I got used to hard work at a very young age. And so we had a super small school. I think there's two stoplights in my hometown, and we barely had enough guys to have a football team, right? And in
Yeah.
Texas, football's king. I mean, if you
Right.
don't play football, everybody look at you like there's something wrong with you. So, I love playing football, and every guy had to try out, man, so we could just have a team. And so this is back in the era when they did give out these participation awards,
Right.
or to every team kind of bullshit. So so played ball, and I was going to be a bull rider. If I was a cowboy, a couple of my older cousins were cowboys, and on the Wagner Ranch, and so I was like, I'm gonna be a cowboy. I'm gonna be a bull rider. I'm gonna win all the money, get all the cowgirls. Life is gonna be good. So that was my reality. Where I grew up, man, there was nothing to do but drink beer and hunt. That was about it. And so the school, the two best looking girls in my school were my cousins. So
Wow.
it's pretty rough deal. And so when I was, golly, man, 14 years old, I saw a bodybuilding mag for the first time, and Rich Gaspari was on the cover. And I had no idea a guy could even look like that. I was so impressed that a man could have muscles like that and look like that. And I had the closest thing I'd seen to something like that was a horse, a big muscular,
Yeah.
quarter horse or something. I was like, what I mean, I was like, wow, man, a guy can actually, be built like that and look like that. And so I read the magazine front to back, and read all about this guy Rich on the cover, and I was super impressed, but I didn't have a clue how to even start to bodybuild. And mind you, this is before there was internet and social media and all this stuff. There was just
Hmm.
Flex magazine, right? And I don't even know if muscular development was around back then. And so fast forward a few years, we left out there. My mother moved to the Fort Worth area, and I went to a school that I had 650 kids in my graduating class, and so a huge school. And, you know, I totally different environment. So you talk about just being a West Texas country boy who came to the big city. It was like a fish out of water there for a minute, but I caught on pretty quick, and I also knew that if I was gonna make the football team, I need to work out. And so that summer, I had no money. Me and my mom were super poor. My father had left us, and so I got a job at the car wash and trying to help out pay bills and stuff. And um, so this local kid had a local membership to this gym down in the neighborhood. So man, he would go in, he'd open the door up, he'd go in the front, open up the back door, I'd slip in the back and work out. And that's how I started working out. So we didn't really know what we were doing. So we just went in and just trained, man. I mean, we would do every machine in the gym, and then we would do the things like, bench press, you're a kid, right? You're going to bench press,
Yeah.
everybody has to bench press. We try to squat when we're doing it right. We do leg presses, man. We do everything we knew how to do. or we thought we knew how to do, and kind of found out we were doing most of it wrong. But we'd been there for like 2 or 3 hours every night, training. I get off work that summer, go to walk to ride my bicycle to the gym, put my bike behind the dumpster in the alley, and he'd open up the back door. I slip in, and here we go. Well, during this time, we used to find out meet a bodybuilder there. This guy's huge. He's almost 6 foot tall, probably 280, 290 pounds, national level competitor. And I'm like, wow, man, that's one of them dudes, man. And like the guy I seen on in the magazine. So we were pretty impressed with him. Plus, he had a different girlfriend every week. They were all hot. Drove a Corvette, and one day when I was slipping in the back alley, shuffling, and I was around the corner, he's fighting these two guys in the gym, big guys. Oh, man, knock one out, he does up. I slip in the gym. I go, hey, man, we got to get jacked. I'm telling my friend this. He goes, wow, what's up? I go, yo, bro, we get hot ass chicks. We drive vets and beat people up, man. He's like, fuck, get jacked. So, so this is two stupid ass teenagers. We don't know what we're doing, but we think if we get big and strong and muscular, that, the world is ours. So, not too long after that, this guy comes up. His name was Mark. And he says, hey, kids. He goes, hey, man, I watch you guys in here. You're in here every day. He goes, you don't know what the hell you're doing. He goes, your form's terrible. He said, he goes, why don't you show up tomorrow and I'll show you how to train, do things right so you don't hurt yourself. I'm like, all right. So he walked off and asked my friend. I said, hey, man, you going to show up? He goes, hell no, man. That dude's going to kill us, dude. And I go, bro, you're not going to, I'm going to show up, man. He goes, man, he's going to kill you, dude. And I go, I'm going to get big and jacked. I'm going to kick your ass and take your girlfriend. And he goes, whatever. So I showed up, and so my first real workout was a leg workout. And this guy destroyed me. I think I threw up 3 times, and I'd go fucking throw up and come back and go finish my set, man. And I never even thought about quitting really. It sucked. Absolutely, it sucked. I thought I was working out hard. I didn't have a clue what working out hard was. And he very abruptly showed me what I didn't know, and that I wasn't training hard. And came back the next day. It was kind of a repeat. We did back and then shoulders and chest and all this stuff. And so this went on for 2 weeks. He trained me and didn't charge me $1. Didn't ask anything from me. He would just show me how to train, do things right, and show me what intensity was, and show me how to push myself. And after that, he'd write the workouts up for me, and I just come in and do them. He said every month I'll change the workout up for you. He goes, nice. Every month I go to, he'd change up the workouts, and if it was something new, he'd show me how to do it, and cut me loose. And as far as the diet, I didn't really have a diet. It was just eat more food, really. Mm-hmm. Because as a teenager, a young teenage boy, if you just eat enough and lift weights, you'll grow.
Yeah.
And I gained 20 something pounds that summer, and of good weight. Just working out and eating more food, man. Instead of eating one burger, I'd eat 2 burgers. And try to cut the sodas down to a minimum, and eat as much steak and stuff as I could. But like I said, my mom didn't have a lot of money, so eating a ton of steak and chicken wasn't really an option, And so, a lot of eggs, a lot of oatmeal, things like that. And I think I bought some. He actually gave me some protein powder, so I could supplement with that. And gained 20 pounds, made the football team, got the starting job on the varsity as a fullback, and had a great season. And then fast forward to the next year, I'm in the gym training. Soon the season's over, and this guy comes to me and he goes, "Hey, man, you ever think about competing?" I'm looking at him going, "Are you crazy?" Because this dude's almost 3 ribs, got veins and shit, and he's like, "Man, there's a show this weekend." He said, "Why don't you welcome ride there and you ride with me, go check it out?" I said, "They got a teenage division." He goes, I think if you train for it, you could do well." I said, "All right." So I went. We went to the show, and I was looking at what the guys look like. And after the show, he goes, "What do you think?" I said, "I think I could do it, man. I think I trained for it. I think I can do this. I can hang with those guys." He goes, "All right." He goes, "This is on a Saturday." He goes, "Monday morning, I'll pick you up at the gym. I'm going to take you to a real gym." I'm like, "Where are we at right now?" He goes, "Man, it's a health club, dude. It ain't a gym. So I'm going to take you to a real gym." All right. So he picked me up. I met him at the gym. And we drove across town. We pulled up in this gravel parking lot, and there's a bunch of warehouses. And at the very end, there's this gym. Warehouse doors are open. Gravel parking lot. There's dudes out there in the parking lot doing lunges. There's some squat rack out in the parking lot. And dudes are squatting. It's the biggest dudes I've ever seen in my life, right? Walking around. And I walk in, and he introduced me to the owner. The guy's named Brian.
Yep.
He says, "Hey, this kid I was telling you about, he wants to compete." And so I started talking to Brian, and I said, "Hey, look, sir," I said, I want to do this show at the end of the summer." I said, "I can't afford a membership, man." I said, but I will work it off. I said, I'll take the trash out, clean the place up. I just want to train here. He said, let me look at you. So I took my shirt off, hit a couple poses. He said, I'll tell you what, kid. He says, you train here all summer, you represent the gym and you win, you don't got to buy a membership. He said, if you lose, you're going to work it off. Well, that was 1992,
Wow.
31 years ago, and I still ain't bought a membership.
Wow.
And Metroplex Gym, that was Brian Dobson, the owner of Metroplex Gym, who had discovered Ronnie Coleman, um, discovered and trained me and a lot of other people. This guy, Mark, turned out to be Ronnie Coleman's workout partner. And
Wow.
in my first show there, I trained with Mark and Ronnie, and Ronnie was still amateur at that point. He was still police officer in Arlington, and Brian trained us. And so I got my ass kicked every day. And but I just I noticed as the weeks went by, I got better and better. Right, I got stronger. I got better. I didn't throw up no more. I could hang. I couldn't hang with him in weight by no means,
Yeah.
but I could hang with intensity. You know what I mean? And I could do what I could do and do the most I could do. And give it every day. I just came in and it was like a war, man. Because it's like stepping into a ring, and you know you're gonna get your ass beat, but every day you bring it as hard as you can bring it because you want to
Yep.
try to get it. You can, and so that was my mentality. And so I trained all summer, went to that show, won it, and then at that point I did another one, won that one, and so when I was 18, I won the Teenage Nationals.
Yep.
My name of Jay Cutler was in that show. He won the heavyweights. I won the light heavies, won the overall. And when I got home at that time, I was the first person, I believe in Dallas Fort Worth. I know I was the first person in Metroplex to win a national level show. Now, granted, it was a teenage show,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but because Ronnie hadn't won a national show yet, turned pro yet. And so I came back to the gym that day. I laid out my entire career. I said, all right, man, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get a degree. And then I'm going to win the nationals. I'm going to win some pro shows. I'm going to go to Arnold Classic. I want to win the Arnold Classic. And I'm going to go to Olympia, win Olympia. And I planned out my entire career. I had short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. I wanted to get a degree so that, if something unforeseen happens, like you get an injury, car wreck, you still can make a living, right? You
Yeah.
have an education. And I planned it all out and stuck to it. And fast forward a whole bunch of years, I had the ride of my life.
Wow. That's fucking awesome. What a story, man. That's damn, man. I mean, listen, man, it's crazy because not that many people can have that same similar story where they had a mentor on such a high level. I mean, just the fact, like, if it wasn't for the gentleman Mark, if he didn't come to help you, this would have never went. Like the fact that he,
When
yeah,
I, when the day I walked into that gym, I thought about it a few years back. Somebody said, what's one of the biggest moments of your life? And of course, my first thing I said, the day my daughter was born. The second best day of my life was probably the day I married my wife. But then I thought about it, and I was like, what one of the biggest days of my life was? It still doesn't compare to my daughter, my wife, but the day I walked into that gym. Because when I walked in that gym, it changed the whole course of my life. I didn't realize it at the time, but had I not done that, I might have taken a completely different path in life.
yeah,
You don't know sometimes when something happens like that at the time, no big deal, right? But looking back on it, it changed the whole course of my life. And thank God for that guy taking me over there. Thank God for Brian, putting the time and effort into me. And I asked Ronnie many years later. He was Mr. Olympia. I was already pro, and we were in the gym. And I said, "You remember when I trained with you?" He goes, "Yeah, he was a little teenager." I said, "Man," I said, "Why'd you guys let me train with you?" I said, "Oh, guys, I couldn't even come close to hanging with you." He goes, "Man, that's bullshit." He goes, "Man, you outworked all the guys in the gym, all the grown men." He goes, "Man, me and Mark knew if you just stuck with it, you'd get big and strong." You did.
yeah,
And he goes, "It ain't about how much you lift, it's about how hard you lift."
right,
He goes, "I lifted everybody in the gym." So,
yeah,
yeah. So, I was at the time, like I said, the information wasn't available like it is now. We didn't know if we
correct,
we're doing it right. We
correct,
thought we were training right and we thought we were eating right,
yeah,
but we really didn't know. And because, there's kind of that, it still kind of exists out there, but not as much as it used to. Like there's this big secret, like the pros got some big secret, they're taking secret drugs or they're taking some secret diet or supplements or something that we don't know about. And, but that's all bullshit. And,
yep,
um, we Ronnie did have success and started doing very well. And I remember looking at it and thinking, well, damn, I'm doing the same thing he's doing. So he's doing it right. So that means I got to be doing it right. And it's working for him. And getting better. I just stayed the course, and I
Yeah.
never left Metroplex. Changed how I trained, and nutrition. I think we all of us, as we learn more and more about nutrition, our physiques improved, our conditioning improved,
Yeah.
and just stuck with it.
A lot of people don't realize that the secret formula is the same thing to the maximum every single day for years and years and years. Like
That's right.
it really is. And I mean, of course, the younger you are, the better it is, right? Because you have a longer time frame to, build and so forth. But that really is it's really that really what comes down to it is the consistency. Like it really
Yeah,
is.
I know bodybuilding's a marathon. I gave a seminar this weekend in Tucson, and I said, you know what the big secret is? And everybody's like, yeah, yeah. I said, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I'm gonna let it out of the bag. I go hard ass work and discipline. I said, number one, if you don't have discipline, you don't got nothing.
Right.
And best definition I ever heard of discipline was by Mike Tyson. He was giving an interview, and he said, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
discipline, and that sums up bodybuilding, especially. I mean, the diet sucks. Cardio. I hate cardio. I used to
Mhm.
get up at 3:45 in the morning. I was on the cardio by 4 a.m. Dude, I hated that shit.
Oh,
But when I got on that fucking thing, I did it as hard as I could do it because I had to, right? Because if I
yeah.
didn't, I was going to get beat by somebody who did.
Yeah.
And sometimes to die, I hated eating chicken and rice, tuna and rice, all this stuff. I said, but I knew if I didn't do it, I was going to get beat by somebody who did.
Yeah.
That's discipline. And then hard work, that's just going to the gym and giving it everything you got every single day, whether you want to or not. That's just what you got to do. And it
When
takes years and
yeah.
years.
When did you officially link up with Jonnie Jackson? Because I remember you guys were training partners for a long time.
So Jonnie was in the military. He got out. I think he was stationed down in Fort Hood here in Texas, and it's about an hour and a half or so south of Dallas there. And so he got out, came to Dallas, Fort Worth area, and he was in the gym. He'd be in the gym training at the same time I was, and we'd compete against each other at the junior nationals and at the USA championships. And I know he won his weight class at the junior nationals. I think I was in the top three or something. And at the USA's, he was light heavyweight. He actually won his class at the USA's in Vegas. I got third in heavyweights. And back then, it was way harder to turn pro. So there was
Yes.
like 250, 300 guys in the USA's in open bodybuilding,
Yeah.
one pro card, one.
Yeah.
And so even though he won his weight class, he still didn't get a pro card. And so I got third. And so we both, obviously the next show was the Nationals coming up. And so we had a mutual friend. And he said, he goes, hey, man, he goes, me back. So me and Jonnie we'd be training in the gym, and we never really talked to each other. We knew who each other were, but we're competitors, right?
Hmm.
So I look at him and like, I know I got to beat this dude, right?
Right.
And
Right.
he was
Right.
always, we were in the same class. He was always placing better than me, and so I'm looking at the student. He was good, and so we're on the same schedule too. So we're both squatting. I'm in one squat rack, he's in the other one, and I know the dude's counting my reps because if I did 10, the sucker do 11 or 12 with the same weight. And I know he's counting because I'm counting his stuff. And so I'm like, I'm like, forget this dude. So I put more weight on and, do more reps. And he try to do more or something. And this went on for quite a while. It's like every day was this crap going on. We never say anything to each other, but whatever I do, he tried to do more,
Yeah.
vice versa. And we had a mutual friend and he came up, he goes, hey man, he goes, aren't you doing the nationals? I said, yeah. He goes, so is Jonnie. He goes, why don't you idiots freaking train together? He said, he goes, ain't nobody else in the gym can push you but him, and vice versa. He goes, he goes, your strength is his weakness, and vice versa. You'll both be better for it. And I'm like, all right. So I said something to him the next day, and he goes, I said, you doing the nationals? He goes, yeah. I said, you want to train for it? He goes, well, let's do it. And that was that.
And that was
So
that.
for the next 21 years, man, we tore it up. And we went to the nationals, and he won a lot of heavyweights. At the nationals, you had to win your weight class to get a pro card. So as an American, I think there was 6 pro cards. I think there was 5 weight classes at the nationals, maybe 6 back then, and 1 pro card to USA's, and that was it. So like 6, 7 guys a year turn pro. And that was it. But when you turn pro, you were good. You could hang.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't trying to disrespect the guys now, but there are a lot of guys turn pro now. They can't hang because they didn't have the opportunity to mature at that national level to really get their physique to where they can, be a true top pro. Um, so he won the light heavies. I won the heavies. He actually won the overall at the nationals there in 2001 in Atlanta. And yeah, but I got my pro card, and man, we trained together. I don't know how many times we did the same shows together. We did my first show was in New York Pro. He was in New York Pro. I think he got eighth. I got eighth. He got 10th. Then I think I went to the Dallas Europa. So I won. He got second, and then we went into a bunch of times in Europas and overseas and British Grand Prix and some of those European shows. And man, it was just I was super blessed to have
Yeah.
Jonnie as a workout partner because the dude was never missed a workout. He never complained. He was never late. And no matter what, you better bring your A game because if I didn't, he was gonna whoop my ass. And so those days you didn't feel like going to the gym and training, I walk in and I'm like, I better wake the fuck up because it's about to be on. And and it was super positive. People said, "How can you compete against each other and still train?" Well, we stepped off the stage. We left that on the stage. No matter who won,
Yeah.
who lost, all that stuff stayed on the stage. And I had tremendous respect for him because I know he's going to do everything he can to beat me in the gym and on the stage. And I respected that tremendously because I was going to do the same thing.
Right.
And during the course of this, besides being the best workout partner you could ever ask for, he became my friend.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's lived beyond all the training and the bodybuilding and everything else.
Yeah. I remember watching you guys, some of the videos you guys had, man, and that was no joke, man. That's like you guys definitely moved weight, man, but you guys moved weight with so much fucking for rage and the rep range, everything, man. So it's impossible with that kind of push, it's impossible for the body not to want to activate. You guys must have slept like babies after every work.
But man, I'll tell you a little story about that real quick. So when I was training, I would never admit to even being sore, right? And I mean, I don't care how bad I was hurting. Jonnie'd be like, "Man, you sore?" I'm like, "Nope." He said, "Yeah, me neither." I'm like, "How the fuck this dude not sore?" But then I ain't admit to it either. And so this went on for like our entire career, right? It went until we were both retired, and we were still training together. And I said, "Hey, man, did you ever not get sore?" He goes, "Man, I got so fucking sore I couldn't get out of bed in the morning." I got laughing. He goes, "Man, did you ever get sore?" I'm like, "Dude," I go, "We train legs, and sometimes I go 7 days later, my legs just stopped quite hurting, and we had to do them again." He's like, "Dude, that was every week." And
Ah,
so it was just, but you're in that mode, and I was like, I wouldn't go admit to nothing, right? And especially, because it's just the way it was. You didn't,
yeah,
you just so you fucking man up and do it,
yeah,
and you admit no weakness and you admit no nothing, and you fucking just went in there every day and gave 100 fucking %, and so it was that was funny because once we were out of it and not competing anymore, he's like, "Hell yeah, I was sore." I'm like, "Dude, I'd get so sore I'd be crippled." And but for 15 years or whatever it was, man,
my
we never
God.
admitted. So,
Fucking wild, man. Now, when you were going through your whole career, is there any things that you might regret? And when you started getting towards the back end of your career, when did you feel like this was kind of time to retire?
regrets. I don't, man. I don't have any regrets, honestly, man. I when I was 18, like I told you, I planned out my entire career, and I stuck to the plan, and I achieved everything I set out to do, except for one. That was winning Olympia,
Mhm.
and I came within one place of doing that. And first of all, I want to say second place in Olympia is the worst place in all of bodybuilding. I don't give a fuck. It is the worst place in all of bodybuilding. And I've talked to other guys that took second. Everyone who's ever took second, I think I would agree with Tex Wheeler about that. And he's like, "Dude, second place is the worst spot you can get in bodybuilding at the Olympia." And I'd rather get third, fifth, sixth, and, because you're so close to that ultimate prize, but you didn't get there. I got back to my room that night. I didn't know if I wanted to fucking cry or punch the wall. And you know, so that being said, after I retired, I looked back over my career. I thought about it, thought about it, thought about it. I'm like, what else could I have done? I couldn't train no
Right.
harder.
Yeah.
Um, I never cheated on my diet. I stuck to the plan. You know, um, I don't know what else I could have done. I mean, I think sometimes you can be your absolute best you've ever been, and you still get beat.
Right.
And I think what happened in 2009, I was the best I ever was. And Jay came back and he was his all time best. And size matters. Jay's 3 inches taller, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
about 30 pounds heavier. Size matters. If I was 5'10", I would have had a couple of them. But that's something you can do about that. You can't train to be taller. You just train
Yeah.
to be bigger and be the best you can be. So I have no regrets, man. I wish I had had the injuries I had. All my injuries occurred outside the gym. I think I think I could have done everything I did plus a little bit more. Not necessarily win the Olympia, maybe, but I think I could have potentially had another Arnold victory and a few other victories. I think, but having injuries kind of set me back.
Yeah.
Missed a few Olympias, missed some shows because of injuries. But you can't. That's hindsight. I mean, nobody plans to get injured, so you can't really. I can't say it's a regret. You know what I mean? Things happen. So I thought about it for a long time, and I have no regrets, man. I had the time of my life, and it was I got to travel the world. I'm telling people in Tucson, I've been around the world twice and seen all 50 states, and had a blast.
And and when you reached the end, did you what made you go, okay, it's time to retire? Like what point?
So I turned 41 3 days before my final show. My final show was the Arnold Classic 2016, and I talked to Ronnie and some of the older guys, and I said, "How'd you know when to say when?" They go, "Man, you'll know." They go, "You'll know." And so the year before, I got in second at the Arnold Classic. I thought I should have won. I remember me and Dexter were first going at it, and even Dexter said, "Man, I think you might get this one." And I got second. He looked great too. Went to Olympia, made a top 5 finish at the Olympia, and then somewhere between the Olympia and the Arnold, and my body just changed, right? And
Yeah.
everyone told me this would happen. And they usually, between 38, 42 is when most people, somewhere in that range is when happens to those people. Man, things, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just age. And my body wouldn't respond. It just looked different. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I get to the show and I got fifth at the Arnold. And, a couple of the young guys slipped past me. And at that point, I never know the young guys ever beat me. And I was like, I just knew. I
Yeah.
stepped off stage that night, and it's a week, 2 weeks ahead of that. If you said this is gonna be my final show, I'd have been like, "What are you talking about?" And I just knew. I stepped off stage that night, and I'm like, "This is it."
This
And
is it.
went to the room, and she goes, "What's up?" And I said, "I'm done." She goes, "You sure?" I said, "100%." I said, "I'm done. This is it." And she said, "All right." And so that was
That
that.
was it.
Never back and just moved on. Fortunately, I had a lot of other things going on outside of bodybuilding with my business and other things, and so it was a pretty seamless transition,
Good.
and just moved on.
Good. Good. Now, the final question, what would be, I already know what you're going to say. What would be your advice to anybody listening um, regarding anything bodybuilding, could be, whatever it is, what would be the your advice to them?
Man, if you're going to achieve anything in life, like I said, you got to have discipline, and then you got to have hard work, and consistency just flows right in there with discipline and hard work. And ain't nobody going to give you nothing.
Yeah.
Life ain't fair, man. These kids that cry about this shit all the time, this and that. Dude, life ain't fair. Ain't nobody owes you nothing. But fortunately, if you live here in the States, you live in a country where you can have anything you want if you. Now
Yeah.
that don't mean it's easy. That means you're gonna have to bust your ass to get it. But that means you can't have anything you want if you work hard enough. And my advice is just if you want something in life, go after it and go get it. Come up with a plan and that makes sense and stick to the plan. And it takes time. I mean, if you're trying to be a Mr. Olympia, it's gonna take you a lifetime of work to get there. If you want to be a CEO of a company, it's gonna take you a lifetime to
Yeah.
get there. But you can do it. And you got to start at the bottom and work your way up, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And that's the way life works. And when bad stuff happens, life ain't fair, y'all. Bad shit happens sometimes. Sometimes stuff that's out of your control, and that's the way it is. You got to come up with a way to overcome it and overcome it. And like I say, it's called you got to man the fuck up sometimes.
Yep.
And, you know,
I agree, man. Listen, man. I knew what you were gonna say. That's why, like, because I'm just saying. Listen, everything you said, it's the same mentality. Like, you know what I mean? It's, the bottom line is you're nobody's going to give you anything, right? Discipline
No,
and hard work is everything. Bad shit happens. You don't let it weigh you down. You use it as a way to be better, and you just keep moving forward. That's it. Like, but again, I think a lot of that goes back to also like, you came from humble beginnings. You didn't have much. You know what I'm saying? I came, like you mentioned, a whole farm area, and dude, I grew up in a village. So like my Christmas was just sitting down with family eating, and I got a book and I was happy. Like that was the best thing I ever got. So I think, those things, make you realize and make you realize that it's not so easy. But I think at the same time, you hit that point where you're like, look, there's opportunities. I can still get what I need. I just need to work hard. You know what I mean? Um, and like you mentioned, here it can happen. If I wasn't here and I was still, where I'm from, I would just have a regular job. There really isn't like a self and
that
yeah,
that's what these kids don't realize. And so, and I can't say I would have either, but I've been around the world, man. I've been to 66 countries, every state, and so when you got to travel the world, man, I think that's a healthy thing to do. And most Americans don't travel the world. They
yeah,
might go to Cancun or some shit. That ain't traveling the world.
no,
And so, you travel the world, you realize, okay, this country ain't perfect. I ain't saying it is, but I ain't never been nowhere where you had more opportunities than right here, right?
yeah,
And opportunities aren't as great as they used to be, I don't think, but it's still the best as far as opportunities and bettering yourself. It's the best thing going. And now that being said, it ain't easy, and you can't. These kids, you look at some kid who comes from a rich, wealthy family, and maybe he has a head start on you. Okay, that don't matter. You can't
correct,
worry about what you got or this guy got or whoever.
correct,
You need to focus on you, where you're at, and where you're going. And don't worry about what other people got, what they're doing, because that ain't gonna help you. So focus on you, come up with a plan, and go to work and put the work in. And
that's
but
it.
there ain't if you're here, you have opportunity, and that's why I've seen so many of my friends that have come from overseas and to move here and live here, and they've done so well for themselves because they come here, and just like you said, if they stayed in their country, they're like, dude, we could have never got ahead. We'd have had some job, and all we'd have been able to do is just survive.
Hmm.
And they come here and they do awesome. I had a friend came here from overseas, and he had $700 in his pocket. He was 21 years old, and came from a place where it was war, all this stuff, and he came here, worked his ass off. Now he's a pilot. He just made captain Southwest Airlines. He's making $480,000 a
Awesome.
year, and he's like, just the best place in the world, man. I could have never had this life where I came from. And, now I've got a couple other friends like that. So, man, but they're not afraid to work. And
Yeah,
that's the key. You got to be willing to sacrifice and work.
I
If you're
agree.
willing to do that, sky's the limit.
I agree. I agree. Well, Branch, listen, man, thank you so much for jumping on, man. God bless you and your family always, man. Always a pleasure. This convo was a lot shorter than we had in the airport, where it was 15 hours waiting for your delayed plane. But other than that, man, thank you, Branch, and have a great night, man.
Man, I hope you're doing well. Hope to see you soon.
You will. See you, my friend.
All right.